So I was I'd be in LA. Now, you're doing your thing on Thursday. You also have someone in your neighborhood that focus
Ned, oh, there's little pieces of paper at your table, that you're on your table, your seat. You'll scan that in, he's waiting them. Appreciate you doing that. We don't have a major vote today, but still please check in. All right, I would like to entertain a motion to approve the agenda for this meeting, March 26th, and the minutes of the February 26th meeting. A lot of moves. Any seconds? Any oppositions? You're easy. Okay, moving along, head schedule. I'd like to recognize anybody that's new tonight, first time visiting 1PS. Yes, sir, what neighborhood?
I believe Florida South.
Okay, welcome. Anyone else? Yes, sir.
Rocket Club Estate.
Rocket Club Estates. Okay, you've been here before. Okay, oh, yes, sir, Tom.
Mountain Gate.
Mountain Gate, wonderful. Mesa. Mesa, good. I think we have all 52 here. Thank you very much. Please come again. We have a lot more space here, I think. All right, somehow it drops off the agenda, but thank you, Denise, for tucking it back in. But any issues that are confronting neighborhoods that's not on the agenda, we can't get into the deep tonight, but anything we should kind of be aware of and we can talk about at a future meeting. Any hot burning? Okay, Paul, I need you to.
Yeah, there is one that's affecting the whole city, so it's every neighborhood. And that is, there seems to be a movement trying to change the structure of governance and going back to an elected mayor. And I think that's a really important topic that should be brought up here and have discussion in one together.
Thank you for that. Great.
Just, if anybody signed up for the Chamber of Commerce trip to Spain, we just found out last week that they have us going on Turkish Airlines and have a layover in Istanbul, and there's a lot of restricted airspace around there. So talk to me if we're trying to get the Chamber to get us a refund.
It's about travel to the Middle East. If you're going on that trip.
To Spain.
Spain.
It was to Spain, and all of a sudden there's
Okay,
routing us
thank you,
through.
Councilmember. You can address that.
I'm gonna try.
Okay. Any other burning issues that we need to know about before we go to cause? All right. We ask every month, so save a month. Measure J, blade sign. There's always progress. I want to thank Denise, as always, who is our just wonderful staff person. Let's give her a round of applause, please. She is 1PS. So the artwork, I believe, has gone to the fabricator. They'll start making the signs. I don't know how long that'll take, but my goal is by the end of season, or however you define it, we could have those things installed on your electrified street corners and and then the chair of Measure J can be happy. He can check that off his box. But anyway, it's moving forward, and I just like to give you little updates as I know. Oh, what a great theme song. Yes, sir.
So, you would ask for people to reply with questions or comments, that kind of thing. What changed in the proposal based on what people here in the room asked for?
Help me out. Help me out. You're talking about the blade signs, or?
Yeah, because you would ask for feedback from people, and people were giving comments to you.
Right. I did not receive much of any comments. Actually, our vice chair had a few comments. And right, and some corrections. So yeah, we've noted that. They're not installed yet, so should we need to review that one more time, we can definitely do that. But
Didn't get a response, which I wasn't expecting one.
I make sure I get that again. I don't, yeah, if you don't mind. Tom.
So it was placed on available for any neighborhood?
So no, so the project was scoped as the intersections where there are traffic lights. There are a lot, actually, other than Upper West Side and Sunrise Park and perhaps Oasis del Sol. Other neighborhoods do not have those signs. So Warm Sands, probably Sunrise and Ramon. So that's already on the list. Yeah. Correct. Okay. Yes.
In the windstorm that we just had, a sign on, which was like across two street signs, a blade sign on top of one of them, came down off the pole in the wind, and then I called the city to put it back up. But I noticed that the blade sign was starting to peel and deteriorate. How do we, if and when we want to get a new one someday, how do we get a new one?
That's a good question. Denise, do you have feedback on that? We know the integrity of some neighborhood signs are not as good as others. I don't know why. It's a color, I'm not sure. Do you have a thought?
Yeah, just email me.
And then the other side, the signs that are in neighborhoods that are saying, we call the police,
Yes,
and all that, how do you get those in the neighborhood?
that's a good question. Denise?
Okay, so the way it is that each neighborhood is notified of those neighborhood signs, we publicly sign, we go and sign. Then my contact you, you can do list of the police officers on there, and then the order for you, take one, and you get the call. We'll get it, you'll call out.
Good. Like I said, when in doubt, call Denise. Paul, you have another question?
Yeah, related to it, so for some time we were looking at getting a one P M sign at the entrance of the city. Denise might remember that, I don't know what happened, is that being included in this?
You know what, I think that didn't COVID happen, I remember us talking.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was COVID, right? No, we'll get to that.
Right.
Well,
One thing that is promoted that.
Yeah.
Well, one thing that's happening is Kate Tatchell has been working with the city to get the signs to the entrance into the town.
Oh, nice.
So she's been working on that project for a while.
Oh, that's good enough, thank you.
And part of the commitment to Measure J for this project was somehow put a plaque, I don't know where, that says, thanks to Measure J, this was made possible. I do not know which intersection that really should go to, but we can brainstorm on really where does it deserve to go. That's a 52 neighborhood question, but it'd be nice to have something that commemorates the project. So, Carly?
I want to thank Denise for designing our lake sign.
Yay!
Oh.
Rimrock is beautiful. Yes.
Very easy to please.
Anybody else? Myself, do you have any thoughts? Thank you for hosting again. We appreciate it. All right, I understand we have an update from our Food Desert Task Force, and Patrick, you're giving us a report.
Okay, so, I don't know if everybody knows who lives in different parts of town, we have a designated, city ordinance designating a food desert in our city. Specifically, it's Census Tract 446.05, if you're ever laying awake at night and wondering, but, it is up in the north part of town, and as has been mentioned before, the north part of town is where all the development is going. So as far as we know, as far as I know, and as far as anybody has been able to tell me it's going to be no differently, please. The last grocery store that was there closed 25 years ago on the corner of Racket Club and 111. So the Food Desert Task Force is working with Blue Zones, with the Farmers Market, with the Desert Highland Gateway Estates Community Action Association, with Black History Committee, and we have been working for 2 years, since March actually of 2024, when we first met with the Black History Committee to find what information they had from what they were trying to do at the time. And actually, Ken Alexander is here, he is on the committee, Dan Ganella, Cynthia Session, Steve, Ned Barker, myself, we are all working to get this done. We are throwing everything against the wall we can find. And what we want everybody to be aware of is the Traverview Heights specific plan, which is development of the area that was formerly for the community, or the College of the Desert, above the old Gateway Estates Mountain Gate area behind the James O. Jesse Center, everything above there. So there are flyers outside. We are asking for a task force to provide input as to what the community wants to see there. And of course, part of the Food Desert Task Force wants to see a grocery store put in the retail section of it. So we are trying to garner interest in getting that done. So the task force, there's a QR code how you can join the task force and make your input known. And this is not just an issue for the north part of town. This is 1PS, one that not only stands for Organized Neighborhoods, it stands for the one Palm Springs that we are, and all boats are lifted by a rising tide, or whatever that saying is. So it doesn't matter. The Blue Zone has a pillar of their philosophy that it's called complete neighborhood, which means that wherever you live, you have everything you need to live in a life radius. And the grocery store, there are no grocery stores in the north part of town. There's no pharmacies, there's no laundromat, there's no dry cleaners, you name it, there's probably not one of them, except for convenience stores and liquor stores. So we have an entire generation of children who have grown up where their most available source of food is beer and Twinkies. So we're trying to change that. And I was going to go through the timeline of the things we've done, but it's 2 years long.
Are you working with Tremby Heights specific plan or no?
Yes, we have been attending their meetings, and that's how we know what they're asking for the task force group. And they want specifically members of districts 1 and 2, basically, and anybody around the north, obviously, to help them out. So if there aren't any other questions, that's my report.
Thank you. Thank you. I want to thank the committee. There's about half the board is on this committee, so I appreciate all the hard work. Speaking of other important committee, picnic is 10 days away. Dave, you want to speak? Sure. Dave and his year-round summer.
Hi, everybody. So a week from Saturday is the 17th annual 1PS Picnic and Community Expo. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be probably the biggest yet. We've been working on it very hard. There will be games and activities for the kids, crafts and hoops contests with prizes. There's going to be dog contest. The police chief's wife will be again our judge for that. Prizes for cutest, funniest, and most original dog costume. Hot air balloon rides, bloodmobile donations, and exhibits from local neighborhood organizations, businesses, and other organizations. A lot of fun. There's still time if your neighborhood organization has not yet signed up to have a booth. It's $35 for a neighborhood organization, and we will accept applications for the neighborhoods through the end of this week, through Friday. You can see me, Denise, to get a application. Live entertainment and 2 asks. 1, we still need some volunteers to help with setup in the morning. So I'm going to circulate a couple of clipboards. You can sign either clipboard, doesn't matter which one. And thank you. And we're just looking for arms and legs to help us set up and marshal a bunch of volunteers that we have coming from College of the Desert. So if you're able to volunteer, the picnic is from 11 to 2. Obviously, we're going to be setting up early. So Denise and I will be there, among others, starting at 6 o'clock in the morning. So whatever time after then you can show up would be great. Sign the clipboard and please indicate that. Second of all, the city gives us the use of Ruth Hardy Park and pays for a few incidentals. We have to pay for all the lunches. And this year we're buying 1,200 lunches to pay. So everybody who goes to the picnic can have a free lunch. So I'd like to pass the hat, and if you'd like to make a contribution, stick a few bucks in here. We'd appreciate it very much. Thank you very much.
And your phone? Yes, hi, Joy.
Oh, yes.
We're gonna have lunch. Lunch food over there. We don't get that too often anywhere. And 2 is, I was talking to my friend Sam Goldman, and in 1968, his dog won best dress at Hardy Park at a neighborhood picnic that took place there in 1968. Just wanted to add that.
Love the trivia. Thank you, Joy. All righty, Ned is queued up and ready to speak. Our neighborhoods of distinctions coming back.
Thank you, Chris. Good afternoon. 3 quick things. The first thing is about Slido. I know you all love Slido. Some of you had great questions. Keep them coming. if you want, there's now an option at the end of Slido to ask the board a question or make a comment to the board. Please help yourself with doing that. If you need to log on a second time to do it, you won't be counted twice. You're not breaking any laws. And Slido is now owned by OnePS. Thanks to the great work of Kat Gallivan and the amount of work it took to arrange that transfer was amazing, and she made it happen. So thank you, Kat. The NADA, the Neighborhoods of Distinction Awards Advisory Committee, has now been formed. Additional members are always welcome, and toward the end of the year will be a lot of volunteers. But we have 9 members. If you please stand up for just a second. I know in the front row we have Peter Simpkins, we have Corinne Griswold, we have Dan Ganella, Dave Manley, Kevin Valera, Chris Reese is the ex officio member of all committees, Meredith Fine, David Weiss, and Mike Hiles. Anyway, we're going to work very hard this year to make the process of you winning an award as easy and enjoyable as possible. Finally, sticking with NADA, we promised you last year that the outcome of the awards would be sharing of best practices. What did the neighborhoods do? How did they get there? And how do you get their advice if you need it on an issue? And we have a very rough preliminary draft of a booklet that we hope to print this or something similar in the not too distant future. I have 4 copies here. I'm just going to pass around the room. I'll start at this end, just pass it down that way if you would. Look and see and pass it down. We'll be distributing full copies when they're printed, and we hope that'll be in the next month or 2. Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right, thanks for the hard work. It was a great event last year. Now, without further ado, I'd like to invite the mayor of Palm Springs to come forward. Okay.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Nice to be here with you all. A few kind of updates and sneak peeks to what we're going to have on the city council agenda tomorrow, and some other items and events that we have going on. One, we're in the Mizell building. The lease renewal is on the consent items for tomorrow, so I think that's also really important. This is a facility that brings in a lot of community, a lot of programming, a lot of events. So hopefully we can make sure that happens. There's a lot of stuff going on with the airport. Just last week we had a ribbon cutting for the sixth, don't forget the T6 car rental. It's been up and running for about 3 or 4 weeks now, but we had the ribbon cutting last week. And it's just very exciting that we are able to really make sure we are expanding as best as we can and providing the best service to our visitors. But if you have visitors or other things like that, that is now available. There's some other investments on the agenda as well for the airport, including terminal seating and even some early analysis of scoping for a federal inspection station. This is a big deal for us. This allows us to have a real customs operation at the airport so that we can eventually try to get international flights here. Right now, it's only if you can kind of do it on the other side, which is really just a couple places in Canada. So this is all part of the very intentional strategic modernization efforts of our airport, and it's helpful for us as visitors or as residents, and also for people who want to visit the city. Something that came up, it was discussed a bit, maybe it was a little bit in OnePS, but there was a community meeting in Gateway around parking, and so I just wanted to follow up on that. Thank you for the public comment. So we're kind of going through the process, there'll be a second reading, but a real limitation on commercial activity on public right of way. And so this includes both car rentals, but also car purchases. And so it's kind of a creative, interesting way to kind of make sure we're able to expand our enforcement activities, to make sure that our roads are as safe as possible. There's just these pockets around town where there's either a lot of for sale cars, blocking the view or tour rentals. And so this is, you know, we're gonna wait and see. This is the first step that we've done to really try to be able to have a bit more enforcement muscle for, our code enforcement. But I just wanted to flag that, especially for the folks in Gateway. Some of that is just the condos and apartments there, but it is a concentration of tour car rentals. For anyone who's not aware, it's kind of like Airbnb, but for cars. And so there's a lot of people parking across from the airport. So, wanted to flag that. A couple other items on our agenda. Mentioned development happening in North Palm Springs. We have another project. There's a $3 million request for senior affordable housing on our agenda tomorrow, which, you know, I'm just so grateful for previous city councils and for the city council to continue being really strong on affordable housing subsidies, because it's through investments in the city that they're able to kind of get it across the line. There's a couple of agenda items on kind of as an update for some important projects with the Dream Hotel and the Orchid Tree, which I know a lot of neighbors feel are very frustrated with both of these projects. This is really an opportunity to have as much public dialogue and engagement about the status of those projects, that we are really making sure that our developers are held accountable, are sticking to their milestones, specifically with the Orchid Tree. As of right now, they are in compliance of their agreements, and so that's important that they adhere to that in public as well. A couple of other things to flag. We have board and commission applications open right now. This is such an incredible way to get involved in the city. I mean, all of you are in this room because you really care about your neighborhood, you care about the city, you want to get involved. I think you are absolutely right. Ooh, thank you. We have some flyers. We'll leave them up here. Thanks, Chris. It's a great way to get connected with the city and become a little bit more involved. I got involved with the city through Measure J. Councilmember Bernstein and I met on Measure J. We were in the same cohort, same year. And you learn a lot on how the city works and operates and makes decisions. Truly, our city leans on our commission so much for early thinking, early strategy on a lot of different issues. I would also stress, diversity is so important. So if you know someone who cares about sustainability, who cares about infrastructure, I have a tickle, it's coming, or who cares about Parks and Rec, reach out to them, recruit them, ask them to consider. Sometimes it takes 2 or 3 times to get a really strong candidate to kind of be willing to take on the time to give their thought leadership to a city commission. When we have different people who look and live and experience our city in different ways, the conversation at the commission level is so much more robust. And so I can't stress that enough. If you know someone or if you are interested, absolutely apply. A couple other events. We have the Library Foundation has an event. Denise already talked about 1 p.m. I know police is going to talk about the open house that will be rescheduled. The fire department, yeah, no, it's coming. Fire department has their open house on March 30th. We had one a couple weeks ago. We were going to have, in case for anyone knows, there was going to be a study session tomorrow. There's a lot of kind of condensing of information after the last open house, so that's why you're not seeing it on tomorrow's agenda. But there's going to be a lot of opportunities for public engagement and stakeholder feedback. So March 30th is kind of the next tentpole that you can kind of count on. And I just wanted to flag just one event that I've been on my social media that I think is so cool. The Cultural Center, for any film buffs in the room, the Cultural Center is hosting a series of Catherine O'Hara film series, which I think is amazing if you are a big Catherine O'Hara fan. Last week they had Best in Show, next week they're doing Beetlejuice, and so I'm a huge Catherine O'Hara fan, and I think it's just amazing. These are the kinds of events that, you know, our local organizations, leaders can come up with quickly and really bring to us. So I'll point to that. That's all there is to it. Okay, I'm here for questions. Oh, we also have Councilmember Bernstein and our city manager.
Update on the status of the distribution centers that are going in
So there's a few projects that the council has discussed just in the short time that I've been on council. So there's the Palm Springs, so there's, I think, like 3 parcels, right, that are previously zoned to be possible industrial use. And there's 2 projects that have been approved to go in those phases. They're kind of in the very early process of building permits and kind of all of that. The other one that was more recent was up on 111, and it was on tribal land. And so that project right now, the next step is for a joint meeting. Right now, it might happen in June, but it's really kind of on the next timeline as the tribe has to let us know when we can have that joint meeting. That meeting is really about how can we as a city provide direction or opportunities as to what we would want to see in that project, or if it's going to happen, things we would want to see, I guess I would say. But it is on their sovereign land and it's up to their jurisdiction if they want to make that happen. But that's where we are on that project. So it's a little bit different in terms of like how much we can do. What we can do, we do have quite a bit of say, and I've put requirements on the ones on north of the 10. It's kind of a little bit different process than up on 111.
So the requirements that are in place, they need, for the movement of product.
Yeah, so I don't know if it could be possibly a warehouse or it could be a fulfillment center, and for either project, it's not confirmed. Oh, a detention center.
No, what?
I don't believe so. I would not want one, and I would fight very hard for it if that would be the case.
That's why we're going to.
Yeah. Me. Private, okay, I'm gonna move on. Yes.
Is there any update on the rezoning? There was like feedback that people were asking about for like the 5-story buildings and 7-story buildings.
Yeah, so there was a presentation, thank you for that. The question was, where are we on the zoning update, the feedback that people got, or people submitted? And so there was an update at the last city council meeting by our planning director, who kind of gave a summary of what that process has been like. We're, maybe halfway through the community engagement process. We're not anticipated for it to come back for approval even before the end of the year. But what Chris was able to summarize is the number of public open houses we were able to have, the number of surveys and written comments, and another piece that was kind of clarified is kind of things that direction we got from the state at the start of this process, and the direction that we got from that we have from the state now, which has varied, which has changed a little bit, kind of what we are assuming we might have to or might need to explore around height and density. And so as that direction from the state is evolving, we're trying and are going to do our best to communicate that best as possible. One of the things I asked for specifically is like handouts and explainers in the most layman terms as possible, and having those up on Engage Palm Springs. Because it's important that Engage Palm Springs is not just an opportunity to know the next event to talk about it, but how to learn about what we're required to do, what we're open to do, and things like that. But it's, in terms of like full approvals, we still got 6 to 9 months more left.
Does that also apply to housing if required in order to get federal funding?
Housing or, so it's more for state funding. But there's kind of like density bonuses that developers are eligible for depending on the proximity to transit or other things. So how much those opportunities apply to us is exactly what we're trying to convert. Yes?
There was a date on the rezoning online that you have to submit by March 14th. If you had any comments, is that date still valid?
It might be for the next.
It said March 14th.
The first phase of comment was.
Yeah, I think it's just for this phase, but there's gonna be multiple more.
There's gonna be another.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, truly, we're not anticipating for it to be finalized before the end of the year.
Got it, thanks.
Yes.
Yes, Glenn Calhoun for West Side neighborhood. Wanted to thank you, Councilman Bernstein, and Grace Gardner for guiding us through the ordinance on the parking. Latest news is they moved out as of the month. I don't know whether they'll end up in somebody else's. But, them and 15 cars are gone. So, just go
Any other questions or comments? No, I'll hand it up to Mark.
Thank you, Mayor. Just a couple things to add. I just want to mention in terms of the housing numbers required by the state. So one of the biggest challenges we have is we have the most amount of land of any of the cities, but if you take out the undevelopable land on mountains and tribal lands, we have no real land, very little land to build on. So we're trying to make that case to the state as well when they start to inquire with us. I also just want to mention, we talked about the airport. They're actually, you'll see some Measure J money going towards the customs, which they're trying to get in the next 2 years, a temporary customs for Mexico and Canada and potentially Europe in the airport. So that would be quite exciting. We had a budget update and a mid-year budget update, which right now looks like we are pretty much on track for what we had planned, which is also good news. Reports from at least February and into March and forward in the spring are looking strong for tourism. So you'll see the numbers for the airport are suffering a lot from Canadian, but we're making it up through some other ways, and we're getting some drive traffic as well. The other thing is the mayor and I work on the economic development subcommittee, and we are going to be having starting our meetings up at the end of this month. It's going to go back to council also for implementation of our plan. And if you remember, we discussed this at the end of November, and it really creates 5 pillars in our economy in addition to tourism, healthcare, tech, arts and culture, and clean energy, with education and workforce underlying all of those. So you'll hear more about that coming up. We also have, I think tomorrow, our first undergrounding with Old Las Palmas plan is starting to come to council. We have an issue, which will be another big bridge project, which will come towards the end of the year with the Ramon Road Bridge. That will go under have to do some repairs, the one that goes to Cathedral City. So that we will be planning 9 months of making sure we have information going out there, planning for the businesses. It's mostly a business community, so that will happen. We're also going to have an update later in the month on the Prescott fire that happened, so that'll come to council. And the affordable housing the mayor mentioned, that's actually by the United Methodist Church. So I know people have asked about whether we have affordable housing throughout the city. So we did just do 2 up on San Rafael. This one is by Alejo and Sunrise, and we still have the Gene Autry one coming as well. I will mention, the Tramview Heights site-specific plan. They've been having community meetings. It's worth it to go to, even if that's not your area of the city. It's kind of an interesting, because the whole up northern part of our city will be redeveloped and reimagined. And this is sort of the ground zero for all of that work starting to happen. So it's housing, commercial, mixed-use parks, a lot of stuff happening that will be kind of exciting. I also was going to mention, I had a tour of College of the Desert campus in Palm Springs last week, and it is pretty exciting. The back building, which is going to have the security and tech and IT and stuff, it's about 70% done, which is amazing. It's very cool. The front part of it is all the operations, the water, electricity, and it's going to be a big glass box that'll be kind of futuristic, but it also becomes a learning experience for the students. There's a lot of people who do that trade. So they're putting a whole AI lab in there, a film and video, a couple of theaters in there. The building is all going to be gold LEED, which means it's a sustainable, eco-friendly building. So it's pretty exciting what's happening. And if you see the construction, I mean, it's going at a record pace. So they're still scheduled. What's that? Even on weekends, yeah. So it is really going pretty quick. I did just want to mention, we are planning our next citywide tech event. Will be June 22nd and 23rd. It's a volunteer group that's putting this on. Last year we had the AI and Creativity Expo. This is going to be evolve into general tech, including AI. So that's gonna come, and then we're also, our Arts and Culture Roundtable in the city is gonna do a pilot program for a citywide arts and culture celebration in June, which hopefully can develop into a citywide festival, in years to come. And two more things, Councilman Gardner and I are going up to Sacramento for a legislative trip, to lobby our state senators, representatives and other organizations, to help support our city. And lastly, my community meeting is March 18th on Wednesday. I changed it from the 17th, in case anybody knows, but it is at Vista Del Monte Elementary School at 5:30. Thanks.
Is anything being done to help those businesses, the 200, 300 businesses that are upset because they'll be losing their parking with the new firehouse being built there?
So the fire station conversations are still underway. It is not 100% going there. There's different options, and obviously, we want to make sure the businesses don't suffer. We are going to also concurrently go forward with the parking study implementation plan that came up last year. Overall, there's a lot of parking downtown, but it doesn't really address businesses who have parking directly by them. So there's certain things that we want to check there. Also, the on-street parking is a little bit odd in some places where you can park for 20 hours a day. So that's not great for businesses. But yes, the business concerns are key because you don't want to, public safety is key and business concerns are key. So we're going to try and work that out. For those of you who don't know, fire station is 70 years old. You can't have women there. You can't have a ladder truck to service most of the buildings. So something has to be done pretty soon. So.
Tiny bedroom.
Yes, sure.
Thank you for answering that about the parking. But I heard you mentioning now that some money from Measure J is going to go towards the airport. And I was wondering if Down Valley cities that are seated on the airport commission also contribute to the airport, or is that something that only Palm Springs has on their shoulders?
So the Measure J money specifically comes from the airport fuel tax that they do in the city. So that any tax that's generated at the airport stays and goes back to the airport. So it's not out of our regular Measure J money that we give it to them. It's the Measure J money they generate on site. Does that make sense?
And do Down Valley cities help contribute to the airport?
No, but it's our airport. So it's part of our city. It's unusual for a city to actually own their own airport. So that by law is all the revenue that they generate there goes back to that airport.
Fire Station 1 has been a discussion for many years, and it used to be, the plan was to go to the north of the station, not take the parking lot that's there now, and I was wondering when the direction changed to go to the south of the fire station, use up the parking for the businesses. Previously, there's an empty lot north of it. I think the city obtained it or had plans to. And there's a bus parking area there that doesn't get used much, and then there's one business. And to sacrifice one Chinese restaurant business and relocate it to say 35 others, sounds like it might be a better plan?
Well, we have heard that. It is somebody's business, and and it's a family that owns it. And so yes, I get it. The area in between is part of the plan, but it is hard to just suddenly say you're gonna eminent domain somebody's business. So,
but it is critical infrastructure.
Yeah.
You can relocate a Chinese restaurant building at fire department, right?
I don't know. I don't know. It's it's a hard discussion to have that. We are looking at all options to find the best solution for everybody.
And it just sold. There was a sign on the window when we had a meeting at the fire station. As we left, we looked and there's a sign on there that it has just sold, new ownership.
It could be. Then it could be another issue. I don't know, but yeah. So. Anything else? Okay. Oh, sorry. Ken?
So do you have an update on the Dream Hotel?
So that's gonna be in council tomorrow. I will tell you, from what I am hearing from staff, they are very diligently moving forward and they are scheduled to have 80% of their 80% completion drawings by the end of the month. And it looks like they are going to do that and have their financing by the end of September. We have gotten a letter from their financing agent who is working on it. It's a well-known one. And they're actually pouring money into what you don't see going on. So, I don't know. I know it's been going on for decades. I have the feeling that what's happening right now is more promising than it's ever been. And I think our staff feels pretty confident that they are moving forward, as planned. So, yes, sir.
The question comes up once in a while about why the fire station isn't being put in where the old post office was. I jumped up to the inland, but it might be helpful, since I hear it often enough, might be helpful to have a statement about that.
So, well, my guess on that particular property is, I believe the tribe is planning something for use of that property. It's, they have a whole area there with the casino, the spa, the cultural center. They don't have a hotel right now, so, but we have and continue to talk to the tribe about other locations. Some of the locations that you see downtown are actually LRT, so they're not tribal owned, which makes it a little bit more difficult. But we continue to have the conversations with them. Okay, thank you.
All right. Mr. City Manager.
Thank you, Chris. Good afternoon, everyone. Pleasure to be here at Mizell. That's kind of a different feel. A couple things I'm glad the councilman mentioned, the remote bridge. I just came from a meeting on that an hour ago. And one of the things that we're doing is we're trying to really be coordinated with the city of Cathedral City. We're both going to be affected pretty significantly by the construction of that bridge. It's not going to start until December, but we're going to be kicking off a 9-month engagement and communication plan that's going to involve setting up a website, FAQs, all kinds of community outreach on both sides of the bridge, all the businesses, all the HOAs, everybody. So a lot more to come on that. We're going to be doing a lot of work. It's going to be a very necessary infrastructure improvement, but there is going to be some challenges with it, and we've got to think about it. What happens with when other arterials close down? How do people move around? There's a lot to think about. All of our engineers and other folks are giving it. We're really trying to start early about that. We really need to work both cities together on that. Just a couple other things. A lot is going on right now. I know we're frustrated because we see things being renovated and we can't get in to use them, but a little short-term pain for longer-term gain. Sunrise Park is going to be celebrating 50 years this coming year. I know our Parks and Rec and other folks are planning a big set of celebrations all year long, and you're going to hear a lot more. There's going to be a big birthday party in November. I'm told there's going to be a special float in the Festival of Lights Parade this year. If you go to Sunrise Park, you'll see the library's under full renovation right now, right on schedule. I talked to the engineer today, so, another year or so, but that facility is going to be beautiful when it's done. The pavilion there is under renovation. That'll be done, I think, in a month or so. So having the pavilion renovated will be a real nice, addition. If you go down to Demuth Park, you'll see a lot of stuff going on at Demuth Park. They're starting up construction of two new dog parks, one for the big dogs, one for the furry little friends. And so there's going to be 2 different dog parks that are going to be coming online. The pickleball courts are under construction. God knows the mayor and Councilmember Bernstein said if I don't get those pickleball courts, they're running me out of town. So we're trying to get those done as quickly as possible.
Is there a date for Sunrise 50?
Huh?
Is there a date in November for 50?
Denise, do you know?
I'll get that to you. We're getting the whole list for all.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if anybody's been, it's this old story. I hate to go to Village Fest because it's always so crowded, But, I'm talking to our Parks and Rec director who's working with the new Village Fest Board of Directors. I don't know if you've gone to Village Fest the last few Thursdays, or Wednesdays, but it has been packed.
Yeah.
So many people are showing up there. I know it's good news for the vendors, other folks. I know our police and fire personnel can probably verify some of this, but we've had some of our bigger crowds, and people are starting to come back in a big way to Village Fest, so that's fun. The Plaza Theater, hopefully a few people start to check out a few shows. The theater's beautiful, beautifully restored, beautifully renovated. I think they told me, they're exceeding all kinds of expectations over the last 90 days, all kinds of sellouts, a little bit of everything for everybody. So if you get a chance to go check it out. A lot of stuff going on. We're doing a lot of work at the convention center, trying to renovate that, brings, for the revenue in the city. So we've got a lot going on. So that's all I have, Mr. President.
Yes.
Scott, I have a question. You mentioned that the Ramon Bridge is going to start in December on construction, which is puzzling to me because that starts the beginning of our busiest season. Like you just said, Village Fest is so busy right now.
Yeah.
Why would we not start it in May so that we're doing the construction during months when there's not as many people there on the road?
Good question. Number one, they're not ready to start this May. They're still got to
Next
get.
May.
Well, there's the project. It's going to be a 2-year project. So I don't think
No matter
there's.
what we do, we're hitting.
You're gonna hit some of that anyway. It's gonna take 2 years. I'd love to do that. Just with that example, we got brand new escalators finally at the airport. None of the clunky going on. So, but in that case, we time that project. It won't start until, right now the airport's packed, lots of people there. But we're kind of timing that project to start in May or June and to be completed in September when we know the airport's a bit slower. So we try to do that when we can. That's a big project, 2 years. Yeah. And then, no.
You mentioned dog parks, and most of the dog parks are in the center and south, and well, on the other hand, like the north is where Fall Street is actually developing through. So we're living in the neighborhood surrounding Victoria Park. If there could be a dog park also in Victoria Park, and also develop Victoria Park, having more like a local kind of a hub for our neighborhood, because we don't have any other hub for our neighborhood. More lights, pickleball courts, like having like a real park for the neighborhood.
Yeah, I'd love to see more of it. Some of the parks are more passive. Some of them are for more active recreation. They all have a little bit of a different feel. We've got the dog park behind City Hall. The other two, you're right, are down south. Maybe a good discussion for our Parks and Rec department at some point to start thinking about it. Another one up north. Point made. Or right here and then there.
Okay, well, too, you brought up the dog park. Our HOA back to Los Cerritos, between Chiba and Chino, there's like 27 acres of vacant desert back there. We would love to have a dog park back there.
Whose land is that?
Yeah, it's a mix of tribes, some Hawaiian.
We are getting some art in Victoria Park.
Well, I don't care if it's art. Second question really was Ramon Bridge. Is the bridge going to be shut down, or will it be one half?
No, it'll be, right now, it's two lanes in each direction. For the most part, I was just talking to the engineer about this afternoon. For the vast majority of the time, it will remain 2 lanes coming and going each way. There may be some periodic times where they gotta narrow it down to 1 lane each way, but that should not be few and far between. If you ask, well, how can they rebuild the bridge and keep the 2 lanes all the time? I ask the same question. We do have medians on both sides of it, so part of what the engineers do is take advantage of that to still keep 2 lanes going each direction the whole time. So that'll help, but it's something that we really are thinking about and trying to plan for. There and there and then there.
Is there any update on Indian Canyon or Vista Chino, the bridge something happening there.
Well, I'm glad I forgot to mention that. So first of all, on Gene Autry, you notice the wind wall that's been installed. We think that's making a little bit of a difference. We just, on the Indian Canyon Bridge, we just got a commitment of some more federal funds for that bridge. We originally got a $50 million commitment from the state of California. We've gotten a few federal appropriations now. That project's being led by the Coachella Valley Association of Governments, CVA, in cooperation with our engineering department. Federal funds are involved, state funds are involved, city. So it's a lot of steps we got to go through to get to that point. But money's being assembled, design is underway, and it's going in the right direction. But it's going to take a bit of time. There, and then straight back. I'm trying to keep the order that I've been, oh no, I've skipped this gentleman here. You get to jump to the head of the line.
So, I think I'm hearing this right, in South Palm Canyon, which bridge is going in, so that's being sued by environmentalists?
So the South Palm Canyon Low Water Bridge.
Yeah.
So we're still doing all of our due diligence. We are involved in some litigation with that, and we have to do some more studies with it, and we've got to work through that. There's people who have strong feelings on both sides of that issue, both from an environmental side and from a public safety side. But we're trying to do what we can to continue to advance the project. But we do have to work with some of the environmental groups and the state groups to get over some hurdles to kind of keep that on track. It's
annoying to me. That should have been done before they started. I'm not blaming the city. Why would they wait until you're in the middle of everything's tore up?
Yeah, that project's been on the books for a long time, and so we're doing what we can. This gentleman, and then straight back.
I just wanted to answer the Doritos thing. We tried for 2 years to put a dog park in a soccer field. We've our neighboring HOAs. We met with the families and the tribe again, and it was a non-discussion. They didn't want to discuss a dog park, at one time the city was looking for soccer fields, and we looked at putting a soccer field there, and it was a big fat no. And there is a triangle behind Walgreens that the city owns that has water access to it, and I tried to get a dog park there for 2 years, but it kept getting voted down.
Thank you.
Because I wanted a dog park next to Victoria Park.
Maybe one last question?
The neighbors need to know what's going on. You and I spoke in January, so the light will be going on to all the neighbors to tell them about the lawsuit. And I'm hoping that's still going to happen because a lot of neighbors don't know that this project has been possibly pending for 7 years.
Yeah, if you come and see me, we sent out some information about that earlier this week.
But you sent it out to just the president of our HOA. I mean, excuse
They
me,
need a
not
man.
the neighborhood, it hasn't gone out to all the neighbors like HOA was going to do.
Oh,
So I'm hoping that's still
I think it was posted with a lot of groups that,
It did, it was a general email that you, if the city gets your email, it came down.
in general email? Yeah.
Well, I didn't.
Let's talk afterwards. I'll get you what you need. Thank you, everyone.
And now we have Captain Torres and Sergeant Lamb. PD, I just promoted you.
Appreciate that. Come with Barry. All right, everybody, thank you guys for letting us be here. First off, I wanted, on behalf of Chief Mills and Deputy Chief Stern, I want to apologize for the cancellation of our open house. As you may have heard, we had a critical incident the night before. Our resources were just too thin. We just didn't have enough resources to make it happen. We really planned a cool event. We're planning on rescheduling that event. The issue is we're going into festival season, and that gets really tough on the organization as a whole because we're pulled in a lot of different directions for a lot of different events that are going on. So, and then the heat becomes an issue with logistically speaking. So once again, I apologize for that. We had it was out of our control. but we hope to reschedule that in the near future. That's issue number one. Number two, our Arctic Center is up and running. It's the drone center and all those things that we're doing there. It's been such a huge success. Any of you that have been able to go check it out, it's really, really cool to see all the technology that's being used in order to make this thing function. It's been a game changer as far as our investigations go. We're able to utilize some of this technology in order to solve cases a lot quicker than we ever had before. So we're very fortunate. I'm sure you've heard some stories of success stories. Those will continue on, and we'll continue to get those out to the public so you guys know exactly what's going on and what we're doing and how we're making things happen. And the other big issue that I always hear every time we go to an event is traffic. Traffic. And I know that's always a concern. We have a lot of things going on in the city. You know, dark roads, I hear a bunch of different reasons why it happens. There's a lot of engineering concerns or whatnot. But one thing that we do have is an amazing traffic team. Sergeant Lamb here is actually working on an operation now, a new initiative by Chief Mills. And we're going to explain that to you guys today. And it's pretty exciting to do. I know it's going to be, can be a little bit frustrating at times when you know, police are pulling you over or whatnot. A lot of it has to do with education, but every now and again, you know, a ticket does come with it, and we apologize for that ahead of time.
I feel trapped when it's like that. Real quick, by a show of hands, who's going to the 1 PS picnic? Oh, this is excellent news, because I'm short on time. Well, I'm not. I think I'm short on time, right? We'll be there at the 1 PS picnic, the traffic team. And any questions you have, they will be answered today. There'll probably be a lot. You can come see us at the 1 PS meeting, and we're there for many hours. Ask away. All the questions you have, we'll take care of. Cool? Yep. All right, so Operation Desert Zero. So this is our new traffic plan we came up with. And we had a couple recent traffic fatalities. We want to address that. So February 26th, you guys remember my sales pitch. I came here the last meeting. February 26th, we had a community workshop. Can you guys hear me? Yep. I can put this down? Excellent. I don't like those things. We had a community workshop, and we presented a bunch of stats, and we came up with a joint plan together on how to address the traffic issue, because obviously resources are limited. We have to maximize the resources we have. I had a beautiful, I mean absolutely beautiful PowerPoint presentation prepared for you guys today to show you the stats, to show you our plans, but unfortunately it's not here, so I'm going to kind of ad-lib it and go from there. So I'll be kind of brief, because it's kind of boring talking about stats. It's better to see them. But real quick, we're going to focus on the 3 E's of traffic safety, just a really, really quick class on how we're going to address this. So the 3 E's of traffic safety, I'll go one by one. The first is education. So I'll just give an example of what that means and how to make roads safer. Who's gone to the grocery store, walk through the parking, not walk, excuse me, drive to the grocery store, and there's a person that walks right in front of them without even looking at them, almost get ran over, right? So that's the education piece. So for instance, if we have a crosswalk where people aren't hitting the lights, or they're not using the crosswalks a lot, we have a lot of vehicle versus pedestrians, the education piece is going out to the public and educating, like, hey, use the crosswalk, use the light. That's the education piece as an example. The next is engineering. That's another example on how to reduce collisions. So a good example of engineering, everybody's familiar with the city, I think. You got El Cielo and Kirk Douglas, right? The light turns green, it's just a solid green light. There's nothing that tells you to go left. So one of the problems is people turn left on the green light without yielding the right of way to the straight. And we actually had a fatality recently in December of last year for that exact same thing. So one thing that engineering does, and we'll work with engineering, that's actually one of the lights that's scheduled to be changed. But that's just the way that engineering can increase traffic safety, is to put a solid red arrow there. So you cannot turn unless you get a green arrow. So that's just an example. And then the last one's our part, enforcement. We just go out and enforce the law. So we go out and write citations. Obviously, it's a huge city. We have limited resources. So the point of the meeting was how do we enforce and how do we do education, how do we do engineering to help out the city. So let me just pull up my notes real quick. All right, so with that, we came up with Operation Desert Zero. And the main thing we decided to focus on is the top 3 collision factors. So there's 3 things that cause the most collisions by far in the city of Palm Springs. Number 1 is DUI. No surprise there. We just have a lot more bars, a lot more liquor establishments than any other city in the valley, by far. So DUI is the number 1 collision factor. The next is speeding. People just speeding fast. You see that a lot coming inbound 111. It's posted 50 now. I go out there and get people at 90 plus all the time. And that's how you have a straight road, which is 111, and you have vehicle rollovers. Like, how are you rolling over? Because people are flying. That's the second collision factor. And then the last one's a failure to yield the right of way. So that's what we just talked about, where people take a left when the cars in front have the right of way and they get hit. So those are the three traffic collision factors. And then I'll just go over stats real quick. We'll talk about our plan. So using those factors and then the stats. So we identified 7 big traffic hotspots where most of the collisions occur, but we narrowed that down even to the top 3. So the big ones, by far, is basically the entire downtown area. That's where you have a substantial amount of traffic collisions. Outbound 111, going up north, that's another one. And then if everybody's familiar with Ramon, we talked about the bridge. Ramon, Crossley, Lawrence, all those, that area, that's a huge hotspot. Gene Autry. So we're gonna focus our efforts towards that, using those hotspots. And then also days of the week. So the majority of these collisions, especially the DUI collisions, which are the most dangerous, are Friday, Saturday, Sunday, at night during bar hours. So we're gonna try to focus towards that. So, with the community at the workshop that we had, and talking with the engineering and us, we came up with a traffic plan on how to mitigate that. Again, sorry I don't have the PowerPoint so you can see the stats, but it is what it is. So, right now, for in-house, we're going to each patrol shift during briefings. We're going over Operation Desert Zero. We're showing the stats, and each individual shift's going to come up with their own individual plan for starters, because each shift's different. Each shift has different manpower, different calls for service. So each shift will come up with their own plan. The traffic unit, which is going to be us, we're going to come up with side missions, so side plans. So the next plan that we're coming up with, operations, is we're going to do a red light enforcement operation, because I know that's a big issue in the city, and we're going to use the Arctic Drone Center. So we're going to pick an intersection that sees a lot of people running red lights, it's dangerous, and we're going to have us posted up on our motors, and we'll have the drones up in the air watching people run red lights. And we'll be able to record it for court, so you can't fight it in court. There we go. So, yeah, with that, there's going to radio ahead and say, hey, red car with this plate just ran the red light. We'll pull them over and give them a ticket. So that kind of serves two of the 3 E's, right? So one, the enforcement, and the next is education. They'll probably not do that as much. So we're going to really hammer some intersections. That's our first mission. The next is we have Coachella and Stagecoach coming up, right? Coachella and Stagecoach. Obviously, that's in Indio, but that brings a lot of people here. And with a lot of people coming from concerts, it brings a lot more drunk drivers. So I guess I'll step back. Is anybody familiar with the Office of Traffic Safety? No. Beautiful. So the Office of Traffic Safety is a California safety office for traffic, right? They provide us grants. They give us funding for overtime spots for DUI enforcement, primary collision factor enforcement, pedestrian enforcement. And we can use it whenever we want. So with the Coachella and Stagecoach weekends, what we're going to do is we're going to take all that overtime that the Office of Traffic Safety gives us and put it on that Friday, Saturday, and Sunday during the bar hours when the most of the traffic collision occurs. Before, it's just been whenever you want to work it. We're not doing that no more. We're going to put it in the specific hours, and we're going to add extra cops on the streets during those weekends for Coachella and Stagecoach. And those additional cops will be just just traffic collision, or traffic enforcement, that's it, specifically looking for DUIs. So hopefully to get a lot of those dangerous drivers off the road. So that's one of our next big operations. Let's see. All right, and then obviously it's a huge city. We're going to focus on the stats, so on the hot spots. We're tasking our officers to start pulling people over in those hot spots, downtown, that Ramon, Gene Autry, outbound 111. We talked about in the workshop, we came to an agreement, we're just going to pull everybody over. That's going to be the goal. Because the more, right? You come into town, you're not from the city, and you see red and blue lights everywhere, right? That's the goal. You see red and blue lights everywhere, people are going to slow down. So,
it was just address the elephant in the room. I know you guys all know Andy. I get it. But we still got to do our job. So understand that. We know that every time we pull somebody over, I know Andy. We're well aware. Andy knows I get it.
Yeah. So that's the goal, is really hammer those hot spots and just have those red and blue lights everywhere. As a matter of fact, I talked about earlier, I briefed all the patrol shifts on traffic enforcement, and last night our swing shifts, they're not a traffic unit. They handle calls for service. They handle domestic violence, all that. They still pulled over 30 people, which is a lot for that shift. And that's just what we're trying to do on those specific areas. We're just trying to get as many lights out as possible, so when people come into the city, they're like, okay, I need to slow down in this area. see what else we have. The next thing is education. Okay, speed up? Yeah. Okay, I'll speed it up really quick. You can ask all the questions at the meeting. So education, we're gonna make it a point to try and come out to the 1PS meetings more, go engage Palm Springs and put all the information out there. We'll do a press release soon on this, and we're gonna try to update you on each operation we do and the stats for each. That's gonna be the next big thing. I'm going really fast. We're gonna start doing a lot more warning citations for cyclists and pedestrians. You see all the time, cyclists blow red lights, pedestrians do. Pedestrians and cyclists are under the false belief that cars will see them and won't hit them. That's not, it doesn't happen. So we're going to start giving a warning sites and educating the people on that. We're going to start putting signboards throughout the city that says, hey, speed limit so-and-so, speed limit enforced. It's going to have the little radar that shows your speed with flashing blue and red lights. We're going to start putting those out. And then the last thing, since DUI is so big, I'm going to have every officer forward all the DUI reports to me, and I'm going to try to find out who is serving alcohol. And they're going to ask each person that gets a DUI where you get your alcohol from. So if there's a specific bar in the city that's over-serving everybody, we're going to work with ABC. So that's the big one. And that's pretty much it. And then we're going to work with the engineering on getting those lights changed and some of the other features. But sorry, short on time. I'll be at the picnic. Feel free to ask whatever you want.
Hey, that's true. Chief Alvarado is here. I'm sure. Thank you.
No mic. Not my guy. Good afternoon, everybody. Does anybody know about the El Diablo? Has anybody ever heard of that thing? Okay, it's the old 1931 fire engine that we have located at Station 2. One of our old engineers, Engineer Bobby Giraldi, right over there, knows much about the El Diablo. Hey. So the El Diablo, we've utilized it a lot since I've been here. I've been here 20 years now. And we take it to parades. We put it everywhere we used to. It's now broken. It's been broken for a long time now. Actually, the fire chief and my wife pushed the El Diablo during the holiday. Yeah, they were pushing it. I'm sitting here trying to drive it, right? So the goal is to make this a community-driven, basically donations through the association. We're going to be at the 1PS, the Palm Street Fire Department, and our association is going to be at the 1PS. El Diablo is going to be there. This is a flyer for it. You'll see it floating around, but at the end of the day, we want to make it about the community and get the El Diablo back involved so that when y'all want us to bring it to an event, we can bring it. How much are you raising? As much as possible. The goal is 100,000, but we'll see. We like to aim high, and if it works, it works. If not, we'll keep going. So at the end of the day, this is the flyer. You'll see it around on the news. It'll be on social media. It's out here. Hopefully, you guys have one in your hand. But at the end of the day, we would appreciate it, and also your firefighters will be there, and we can have an open conversation and enjoy the day. So thank you very much.
Thanks, Bob. Yes, I want to use the mic, because I have so much trouble at our other location. This sounds good. Yeah. Right? We've got a good mic here. I want to share some good news from the fire department. El Diablo almost got put in service a couple times because our fire engines were in such bad shape. But I want to thank you, the community, city manager, our council. We just did an emergency purchase for 2 brand new fire engines. You know, I shared with you guys, right? Yeah, please. 5 years from the time you order a fire engine to the time you get it. So we had an opportunity. San Bernardino County canceled an order of 2 fire engines, and they hadn't been painted yet, so all my firefighters were happy. They're going, I hope they're not red. No, we had a chance to paint them white, and they just arrived in the city this week. Yeah, so I'm excited. You guys saw how stressed I was about a year ago, you know. So excited about that. They're going to go to Station 1 and Station 3. That's where they're going to be placed once we get all the equipment on them. So really excited about that. And again, thank you all for that. You guys are the ones that make our fire department what it is, so we appreciate that.
And then second, I had a chance to meet with Mesquite Country Club regarding the Prescott fire. The mayor, we met with a group of people that live there. And it was a great experience because they said, hey, things went well for the fire department, we got the fire put out, but is there anything else we can do? And it really made us think. So when we come to city council and talk about steps we could take, our fire marshal identified improvements you could make to your attic vents. So if you were to live in the hills in a very high fire severity zone, you could actually change your attic vents so that it blocks any embers from going in. We don't require it. That area around Prescott isn't a very high fire zone, but if a homeowner or an HOA wanted to make some improvement, there are things you can do to improve the safety of your home. So that's something we're bringing forward council this month. And then finally, we'll have our second open house on the 30th at 4 p.m. at Station 1. I want to thank everyone that came out. We appreciate all the information, right? We're taking that, we're learning from it, and we're looking forward to hearing from you again on the 30th, 4 p.m. at Fire Station 1 on Indian and Amato. And that's all I have. Any questions for me? Yes, sir.
One question, there was a presentation at that meeting, and when is that presentation going to be made available? Because so many people there, everybody that was standing on the doorway could not see anything on the presentation.
It'll be made available again in person on the 30th, but it's a great idea. Maybe we could film that and then put it up on our website. Okay? Thank you for that. Anyone else? All right, seeing none, thank you, I appreciate that. Danny?
I'll be brief, because we're running short on time. I appreciate everybody talking and asking a lot of questions. It lets me be brief. This weekend I've got a CERT class, 33 people are signed up, it's great. Last one for the summer because it's about to start getting hot. For those of you that forgot what heat feels like, it's coming this weekend. And then, Mr. President, I'm gonna yield the rest of my time because Bob is gonna talk about emergency preparedness.
Thank you. Thank you much. But before that, we have Thomas Crowley from Sustainability. Here you are. I'm sorry, are you? No, you're. Come on, Max. You have more? Oh, it's Max.
Come on, buddy. Let's go, buddy.
Max, you're done.
You guys, thank you.
Welcome.
Hi.
Thank you so much.
Hi, everyone. I know you're used to seeing Benito up here. He's unfortunately not with us, but I'm going to try to fill his shoes, trying to do it for him. We have two exciting events coming up in the Office of Sustainability. On April 4th, we will have our spring shredding event. That'll happen at the Convention Center. As always, you'll enter on Avenida Caballero. It is one direction of travel. So if you try to go in on the opposite side, you will not be allowed. But Saturday, April 4th, the week leading up, if you're not able to join us on that Saturday, you can drop small items at City Hall and we will make sure that those are taken care of. If you are able to join us on April 4th, you can bring e-waste and you can bring bulky items. So you can bring them on Saturday. If you need to bring something to City Hall, it'll have to be small the week before. Okay? And this flyer that I have in my hand is two-sided and there are some on the table also, so you can feel free to grab one as you head out. The second is our celebration for Earth Day is April 22nd, and we are having an Earth and Arbor Day celebration on Saturday, April 25th in Bruce Hardy Park from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. We'll be having 8 trees planted in the park, coordinated with Parks and Rec and DPW, so we're really, really excited about that. And tree planting from 9 to 10, there will be gelato served complimentary for everyone from the Department of Sustainability, so we're hoping you'll enjoy that with us. And yeah, we have those coming up, and then not listed here, but coming up in June, we have our next Fix-It Fair, which took place here at Mizell Center, so on June 6th. So we'll obviously update you about that later, but I think that's all we have from sustainability. So again, the flyers are on the table out front, and in case you have any questions, our email address is on there, sustainability@palmspringsca.gov. Okay, thank you.
Sochi, water.
Hello, everyone. So I have a very quick update for you today. I just wanted to let you know that we started meter replacement in the Cactus Creek, Gulf, and Melody Ranch neighborhood. It started last week. It'll last a couple of months, but not all meters will be replaced. We will let you know before we replace them, and it only takes about 15 to 20 minutes. So real quick and easy, and your water will be shut off for just 15 to 20 minutes. So that's it. Any questions? If anyone wants to learn more about meter replacements, you can go to our website, dwa.org/meter replacement. That's it, and I'm looking forward to the One PS neighborhood picnic.
On the agenda, says you're gonna talk about your field trips and recycling.
That's not her. That's gonna be Liz.
Oh, never mind.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, our tour is until this fall, but, so I will talk about it later on. Thank you very much.
All right, Liz, and the tour.
Hi, everyone. Shall I start with the tour then? We have a date, possible date for now. We coordinated with sustainability to make it Earth Day. So why not just at our recycling center on Earth Day? If the date changes, we will keep you posted. So please be on the lookout for city's information and PSES as well for updates on a change for the date. But for now, April 22nd. We have the list posted, I believe. Yes? Yes. So for you to sign up, but you can also email me as well. Just so you know, we'll have more information on that. So please keep in touch. And then for our cleanup, so sustainability mentioned the shredding event. Don't forget, it's also e-waste. You may drop off your e-waste and your bulky items there at the convention center that day, and PSES will be there. With the shredding event. And also for our Arbor Day, we will be hosting another compost giveaway. So bring your shovels, your buckets, your, wheelbarrows or trucks, whatever you'd like to bring. We will have compost to give away on Arbor Day, which is Saturday the 25th. Yes. So compost giveaway for as much as you like. So supplies last. So please bring whatever you can to haul it away. And that's going to be, again, Saturday the 25th. And lastly, our bulky cleanup collection. Please set out your free bulky items out of the curb the week of, oh my goodness, I'm sorry, so many days. It's going to be the week after, it's going to be the 13th, Monday the 13th. Please set out bulky items. Just a reminder, appliances and electronic waste get picked up separately, as they need to be properly disposed of. So if we pick up your couch first and we left your appliance, don't think we forgot it or we only got one, it's just separate vehicles. So don't worry, we will get that all by the end of the week. Yes? April, so it's 13th, yes, that week of the 13th. And that's it for me. Any other questions? No? Oh, any questions? Yes.
I emailed you last month about there was no response.
Oh, sorry, I have you on the list. You're on the list. If you're on the list, we will go ahead and reach out to you once we have the flyer and everything ready. Yes. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Denise, you'll yield your time. A gentle lady shall yield her time. Oh, good, that keeps us on schedule. Did Danny leave? He was gonna make an introduction of our guest speaker.
Danny left.
Danny left. All right, Mr. Guest Speaker, come on up. I'm so sorry. Good, well, welcome. Can't wait to hear your presentation.
Thank you. Good. Can you guys hear me okay without the mic?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good, because I'm saying mic for us.
Use the mic for us. It really helps us.
Any better?
Much better.
Okay, I hate to do this, but I gotta read off my notes. First of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Bobby DeRolli. I am a 45-year resident of the city of Palm Springs. I'm also a 33-year retired Palm Springs city fireman. I retired in 2015. I was retired for about 2 years, and my wife said, you gotta find something to do because you're driving me crazy. So I hooked up with an organization called Team Rubicon. Has anybody here heard of the organization Team Rubicon? Usually about what we get. Organization was started in 2010 after the Haiti earthquake. There was 2 retired Marines that saw what happened in Haiti and decided they needed to go down and help. So they formed about a band of about 12 people, snuck themselves into the country, and provided about 3.5 weeks of medical triage and assistance. While they're down there, they thought, well, we could do this at home, so they formed the volunteer organization Team Rubicon. We are over 200,000 volunteers strong, only a paid staff of about 140. Almost 2,000 volunteer leaders, of which I am one. The reason I'm coming, we had a meeting with the police chief and Danny, the emergency manager, last week. I came to them, offering who we were and what we did. Basically, and I'll make this really quick because I know we're running short on time. We are in the state of California, we do a big push on what we're doing with fire mitigation. We've worked with quite a few cities on doing mitigation within the city. We wanted to come to the neighborhoods to let you know that we not only do we have fire mitigation, but we also have capabilities of flood response, basically debris removal, what we call muck outs or cleaning out of houses, a variety of capabilities that we're able to do just in the state of California, in Southern California. Hurricane Hillary in 2023, we were in Cathedral City. We helped them with 12 of those residents, mucked out those residents, spent 2 weeks there cleaning out, helping those people. My offer to the organizations is we can help your organizations, your neighborhoods with cleanup, fire mitigation. God forbid we get another flood situation, we can offer with that. We do sandbagging. We teach sandbagging classes for those that want to take a sandbagging class. Just like I said, good news, bad news was. Bad news, I had an awesome PowerPoint presentation I was going to show you guys. Good news is I had an awesome PowerPoint presentation that I can show you guys. So basically, just to cut it quick, our organization is all volunteer. So if there's a need, the best way to get a hold of us is to get a hold of Danny or the chief, and they in turn get a hold of me, and we work with you, the organization, on what your assistance is. Basically, we can offer almost anything that we can use volunteers for, we can throw your way. So I know this was short and sweet. Like I said, you can go and find us on the website. It's teamrubicon.usa.org.
Can you send me your presentation? I can put it online.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that'd be great. That'd be great. And like I said, if you have any questions, I'll leave Danny. Danny's got my email. You guys can fire me any kind of questions you want. Go ahead.
At the beginning, I know you said the name, but it's got a, what's the name of the organization?
Team Rubicon.
It's on the shirt.
And we all wear gray shirts because part of the lore, when they went down to Haiti, they were like, well, we gotta look uniform, so they stopped at an REI. The only shirts that were on sale were gray, and we began gray shirts. Any other quick questions? Yep.
We're having a 1PS meeting at our subdivision at the end of the month.
Mhm.
Is that something that you would attend to
Yep.
answer questions for our
Absolutely.
neighbors and stuff?
Yeah, just, remind me, I'll give you a card.
All right.
You give me a call, yes, absolutely.
Denise is, report.
Question in the back?
Not a question, it's a comment. I have had your services in our community in March of 2023. We had a flood in Honolulu in our community, but the report of all of our community. And Rubicon is there for the community and do a phenomenal job. We are blessed to have you in this community.
Thank you.
Everybody, you guys will be for that, you there for any, and you came through.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
I know we have a public comment. Sir, if you'll come up. There's a flyer out front. We're doing a lot of cleanup in April, aren't we? It's called Pick It Up Palm Springs. So I want to hear more.
About 2 minutes. Thanks.
I'm Mike Damel, and this is Steve Banks. We started in early December, just a grassroots organization. Palm Springs is a very clean community, but we all know areas that could use a little bit more attention. So we just started via Facebook and Nextdoor to get people involved. We've had 6 cleanups so far. The most successful was with Oasis del Sol. We've had anywhere from 5 to 13 people show up. 5 people in an hour and a half can make a tremendous difference on any street. We've had 3 cleanups on Palm Springs Visitor Center. We've picked up dozens of bags of trash. We're reaching out to you all because you're all in the neighborhoods. You all know areas in your neighborhood that could use a little attention. And this is just a win-win situation for everyone. So I have my email here. We've got about 35 people on the email. We're just out spreading the word. Steve will show some of the pictures at the Oasis.
And I'll have these sit outside, it's kind of hard to see.
We have a flyer out there. We'll be here at the end of the meeting if you have any questions. If you all can get 3 or 4 people, your neighbors in an area that needs to be cleaned up, we could probably get 3 or 4 people. And with those 8 people, you'll make a tremendous difference in that area that you know that needs attention, that maybe we don't need attention. So, we're just here to spread the word. If you have any questions, we'll be here at the end of the meeting, and we have the flyers up.
Thank you.
All right. Any other public comment? Yes. Oh, Sandy. Okay. You're here all the time.
You can't believe this, but it's almost Easter. And I feel like this year's gone so fast. I'm here to speak about the Easter sunrise service that is going to be at the O'Donnell Golf Course. It is the 100th year that this has been done. We didn't do it during COVID, obviously, because we couldn't gather. It's a beautiful service. You would enter also Alejo. You can park at Temple Isaiah. And everyone is welcome. There are chairs. You can bring your own chairs. You can do whatever. It opens 30 minutes before sunrise, and we have a beautiful service planned with fantastic music this year. And we hope you all will join us. There are flyers out in the hallway, so we look forward to seeing all of you there. Thank you.
The hat for the picnic, who's wearing the hat? Where'd the hat go? The back. Okay, you can bring the hat forward. Passing the hat, that goes with Easter. Any other comments or questions, or we can adjourn 4 minutes early? All right, with that, Denise, where'd you go? Are we back at police next month? Yes. We'll have air conditioning. Thank you. All right, we'll see you in April. All right, thank you all.